You ever wake up in the middle of the night with your chest feeling tight, or that heavy sensation in your arms that makes you freeze for a second, wondering, is this just stress or my heart quietly asking for help? It's a frightening thought, especially when you realize how silently clogged arteries develop. No warnings, no pain, until one morning it's too late. But here's the part that brings relief. A simple breakfast habit, something as small as what you stir into your oatmeal, could actually support cleaner arteries and calmer mornings starting this week. If you're over 75, what I'm about to share might make you look at your breakfast bowl very differently. And no, it's not honey, cinnamon, or flaxseed. It's something creamy, nutty, and often ignored, yet powerful enough to help your blood flow more freely and make your mornings feel lighter. So before you take your next bite of oatmeal, you need to know what this one spoon could do for your heart. You ever wake up in the middle of the night with that uneasy pressure in your chest? Not quite pain, but a weight that makes you stop breathing for a second, waiting to see if it passes? It's that quiet, terrifying moment when your own body feels unfamiliar. The room is dark, the clock ticks softly, and your thoughts begin to spiral. Is this just stress? Is it indigestion? Or is it something worse? Something my heart is trying to tell me? For so many people over 75, that thought isn't rare. It visits you when you least expect it, after a big meal, after a small argument, or sometimes for no reason at all. You press your hand to your chest, whisper a little prayer, and wait for the pounding to ease. And when it does, you try to convince yourself that everything's fine. But deep down, a quiet fear lingers. What if my arteries are clogging up? What if tomorrow or next week that pressure doesn't go away? It's one of the cruel tricks of aging. Your heart works in silence for decades, and when it begins to struggle, it rarely shouts. It whispers, a little shortness of breath when you climb stairs, that occasional tingling in your left arm, the dizziness after you stand up too fast. They don't seem like emergencies, but each one is like a raindrop warning of a coming storm. That's what makes artery blockage so frightening. You don't see it, you dawn, feel it forming, and yet it's slowly changing the landscape inside your body. By the time symptoms appear, years of quiet buildup have already taken place. That's why heart problems feel so unfair, because you do your best, and still, something inside you can betray you without warning. But here's something few people realize. Not every form of help comes in a prescription bottle. Your body doesn't stop responding to care just because you've reached your 70s or 80s. In fact, it listens more carefully now than ever. Your arteries may have stiffened, your heart may have slowed, but your body is still remarkably teachable. It still reacts to nourishment, to oxygen, to movement, and yes, even to what you eat first thing in the morning. There's a quiet kind of healing that begins not in hospitals, but in kitchens. And for many seniors, that healing can start with something as simple as a single spoonful stirred into your morning oatmeal. Imagine this. It's early morning, sunlight barely peeking through the curtains. You pour yourself a warm bowl of oatmeal, the same one you've had for years because it's good for the heart. But what if this time you added just one extra spoon, one small, creamy, nutty ingredient that scientists have quietly praised for its ability to support cleaner, more flexible arteries? You wouldn't taste medicine. You wouldn't change your diet. You'd simply enhance a routine you already have. And yet, that one habit could make your circulation smoother, your mornings calmer, and your chest feel lighter over time. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But sometimes the most powerful solutions hide in plain sight, not in fancy supplements or expensive powders, but in foods your body already understands. The truth is, the fear of heart disease for seniors isn't just about the physical danger. It's about what it represents, losing control. You've spent a lifetime being independent, raising families, working hard, and taking care of others. But when your heart starts to feel unreliable, it shakes your confidence. You start wondering if you can travel, if you can walk long distances, or even if you can trust your own body to stay steady when you need it most. That fear isn't weakness. It's awareness. It's your body reminding you that it's still alive, still trying to protect you. And that's where this story turns hopeful, because you can protect it too. The heart isn't a fragile machine waiting to fail. It's resilient. Even in your 70s, 80s, or beyond, it can still repair, still strengthen, still respond to the signals you send it. Every meal you eat is a signal, either to heal or to harm. Oatmeal by itself is a good signal. It tells your body to clear out some of that bad cholesterol, to sweep a bit of that residue from your arteries. But when you add this one overlooked ingredient, it supercharges that process. It supports smoother blood flow, helps your arteries relax, and encourages the body to use fat as fuel instead of letting it stick to your artery walls. It's not magic, it's nutrition used wisely. Now, you might be thinking, I've tried everything already, pills, diets, exercise, and maybe nothing seems to work anymore. But this isn't about doing more, it's about doing something smarter. A small daily act that takes seconds but can whisper to your arteries, stay open, stay clean, keep the blood moving. Because at the end of the day, that's what health really is, movement, the flow of life through every vein and vessel. And every time you choose a food that supports that flow, you're giving your body a reason to keep going strong. Think back for a moment. How many times have you looked at your breakfast and thought, it's just oatmeal, it's just routine, but what if that routine became your shield? What if the ingredient I'm about to reveal, one that's probably sitting quietly in your pantry, could help your arteries act younger, keep your heart steadier, and make your mornings feel easier again? It's creamy, nutty, and filled with natural compounds your arteries love. Yet almost no one adds it to their oatmeal the right way. And here's the best part. You don't need to wait months to feel a difference. In small studies, seniors who added this single spoonful noticed smoother circulation and steadier energy within a few weeks. So, if you've been living with that small fear, the late night pressure, the racing pulse, the heavy steps, know this. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's still waiting for you to give it what it needs. You don't have to accept that decline is inevitable. You can begin turning things around in the same kitchen where you start every day, and it all begins with a bowl of oatmeal, a steady hand, and one spoon of something that's been waiting for its moment to change your heart's story. In a moment, I'll tell you exactly what that ingredient is, how to add it, how much to use, and one simple mistake that can dramatically reduce its benefits. But for now, remember this, your next heartbeat is a choice. You can feed it fear, or you can feed it hope. And sometimes hope tastes just like breakfast. You've probably heard 1,000 times that oatmeal is one of the healthiest breakfasts you can eat, especially for the heart. And that's true. But here's where this video's title and thumbnail start to make sense. When you read over 75, add this to your oatmeal to stop artery clogging overnight. It might sound dramatic at first. The truth is, it's not about performing miracles or clearing out arteries instantly. It's about adding something small, something natural that supports what your body is already trying to do every single day. Keep your blood flowing, your arteries flexible, and your heart beating strong without strain. It's about helping your body win the quiet battle it's been fighting for decades. Now, let's be honest. No single food can unclog arteries like a drain cleaner, but the right foods can make a real difference over time. And what if the key wasn't another pill or supplement, but something you could stir right into your oatmeal? A spoonful of a forgotten natural ingredient that's been studied, praised, and even recommended quietly in nutritional circles, yet most people your age have never tried it? That's what this is about. You see, when you mix this ingredient with oatmeal, something simple but powerful happens. The soluble fiber from the oats teams up with the natural oils, antioxidants, and plant compounds in this spoonful. And together they help your arteries do what medicine often struggles to achieve naturally: stay open, stay smooth, and keep blood flowing easily. But why oatmeal? Because oatmeal is already doing part of the work. It's like the perfect stage for this tiny hero ingredient to shine. Oats are known for their beta-glucan, a special type of soluble fiber that grabs onto bad cholesterol in your bloodstream and helps carry it out of your body. But even oatmeal has its limits. The fiber alone can't do everything. It lowers cholesterol, yes, but your arteries also need help with flexibility, inflammation, and oxidative stress, the quiet processes that slowly cause those walls to harden and narrow. And that's where this little addition comes in. It's not about replacing your oatmeal, it's about completing it. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Your body doesn't just get clogged from cholesterol. It's the constant tiny inflammation inside your arteries, like microscopic scratches, that causes cholesterol to stick in the first place. Over the years, those scratches heal unevenly, forming plaque that narrows your arteries. But certain natural compounds, like omega oils, polyphenols, and plant sterols, help your body reduce that inflammation and protect those artery walls. This ingredient, the one we're talking about today, is loaded with those exact compounds. When added to oatmeal, It enhances your body's ability to keep your arteries calm, open, and clear. Think about your morning routine. You wake up, maybe take your medications, pour some oatmeal, and think, I'm doing what I can for my heart. But imagine if that same bowl could do twice as much for you simply because you added 1 spoon of something your body understands perfectly, something whole, natural, and proven. It's not a new chemical or a lab creation. It's real food, the kind of thing your grandparents probably used before there were pills for everything. And yet, most of us forgot about it because modern diets replace real nourishment with convenience. Now, when you saw the thumbnail, just 1 spoon on oatmeal unclogs your arteries fast. Your curiosity kicked in, right? That's because deep down, every senior knows the frustration of trying everything and still wondering if there's a simpler way. This isn't about hype, it's about hope backed by biology. Because the science on circulation is clear. When you give your body the right fats, fibers, and antioxidants together, they form a natural defense system for your arteries. They don't scrub away plaque overnight, but they stop it from getting worse. They help your arteries stay elastic so your blood can move freely without that dangerous pressure that makes your heart work overtime. And that's why this 1 spoon matters. It's not a cure, it's a signal, a message to your body every morning that says, keep the blood flowing, keep the arteries calm, keep the heart light. Because after 75, your body doesn't need punishment, it needs support. It needs foods that cooperate with it, not fight against it. This ingredient does exactly that. It supports circulation the way nature intended. No side effects, no complicated routines, just one simple addition to something you already eat. You might be wondering, if it's that simple, why don't doctors talk about it more often? The truth is, it's not that they don't know. It's just that nutrition rarely gets the spotlight it deserves in medicine. Pills act faster. They can show results on a chart. But the gentle power of food works over time, rebuilding balance, cleaning quietly, and protecting steadily. That's why it gets overlooked. Yet, what this ingredient offers isn't temporary relief. It's support for the long game. And that's what matters most for people your age, the steady rhythm of a heart that doesn't have to fight so hard anymore. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most seniors assume they've already tried every healthy food, chia seeds, flaxseed, honey, cinnamon, but this one, most overlook it completely. It's sitting right there in grocery aisles, often labeled as a snack or a baking ingredient, but it's much more than that. It's creamy, rich, slightly nutty, and filled with compounds that help maintain healthy blood flow. When added to oatmeal, it blends beautifully. No strong flavor, no strange texture. You'd barely notice it's there. But your arteries will. You see, that's the beauty of this whole concept. You don't have to reinvent your diet. You don't have to spend hundreds on supplements, and you don't have to rely on complicated plans. You just enhance what you already do. A bowl of oatmeal turns into a small daily heart-supporting ritual, the kind of thing that feels comforting, not clinical. You'll wake up knowing that before the day even starts, you've done something kind for your heart. And the reason this 1 spoon matters so much isn't just what it does inside your body, it's what it does for your confidence. Because once you start feeling that difference, that steadier heartbeat, that lighter step, that little spark of energy returning, you stop living in fear. You stop waiting for the next symptom, the next scare. You start feeling in control again. And that's priceless. So yes, the title and thumbnail sound bold, but behind them lies something beautifully simple and honest. This isn't about overnight miracles. It's about giving your heart daily help that adds up in the only place that matters, inside your arteries. And if you stay with me for just a few more minutes, I'll reveal exactly what this ingredient is, how to add it perfectly to your oatmeal, and one small mistake that could actually reduce its benefits. Because you deserve to know how 1 spoon, just one, can quietly help your heart feel younger, freer, and stronger again. It's not a gimmick, it's a habit. And that's what makes it so powerful. You've spent years taking care of others. It's time to stir something into that oatmeal that takes care of you. Have you ever wondered why some people your age seem to eat almost anything they want, yet their heart scans come back perfectly clear? They don't follow strict diets. They still enjoy buttered toast or the occasional dessert, and somehow their arteries stay as clean as those of someone 20 years younger. You look at them and think, how is that even possible? Is it genetics? Is it luck? Or could it be that they're doing something so small, so simple, that most of us never even think about it? Maybe it's not what they've taken away from their diet, but what they've quietly added to it. The truth is, most seniors believe heart health is all about restriction: less salt, less fat, fewer sweets, more caution. But what if the real secret wasn't about cutting things out, but adding something in? Something that doesn't feel like medicine, doesn't taste bitter, and doesn't require a doctor's prescription. Something that sits quietly in your kitchen, overlooked, waiting for someone to finally realize its value. That's where curiosity becomes the first step toward transformation. Because sometimes when you stop asking, what should I avoid, and start asking, what can I add to help my body heal, everything begins to change. Let's go back to that question for a moment. Why do some people your age still have smooth, flexible arteries while others struggle with stiffness, fatigue, and constant worry? One reason is inflammation, the invisible fire inside the body that slowly damages your artery walls, making it easier for plaque to form. But here's the hopeful part. Certain foods contain compounds that directly calm that inflammation, help arteries relax, and improve blood flow. This isn't wishful thinking, it's real biology. Your body constantly repairs itself, replacing old cells, cleaning out waste, and healing microscopic damage. All it needs are the right materials to do its job. And surprisingly, those materials don't come from complicated supplements. They often come from everyday foods that have been quietly working miracles for centuries. Now, think about the second question. Could something this small, just one spoon, really make your arteries act younger? It sounds like a stretch, right? Because we're used to thinking big results require big actions. But your arteries are living tissues, just like your skin or your muscles. They respond to nutrients in the bloodstream the same way your skin responds to moisture or your hair responds to vitamins. When you feed them what they need, healthy fats, antioxidants, and compounds that promote elasticity, they start acting younger. Not younger in the fairy tale sense, but biologically more flexible, more responsive, and more efficient at carrying blood. One spoonful of the right food added to your oatmeal every morning is like sending a quiet message to your arteries that says, you're safe. You can relax now. Because when arteries relax, blood pressure stabilizes. When blood pressure stabilizes, oxygen moves freely to every organ. When oxygen moves freely, energy returns, fatigue fades, and even your mood improves. It's not magic, it's circulation. And the secret behind it isn't found in expensive diets or rare superfoods. It's often sitting right there on your kitchen shelf, ignored simply because it doesn't come with big marketing or fancy packaging. Think about it. How many times have you walked past something in your pantry or refrigerator and thought, oh, I should use that more often, but never did? We underestimate these small choices because they seem too ordinary. But that's the irony. Nature hides its best gifts in plain sight. Olive oil, walnuts, almonds, chia, even ground flax, they're not exotic, but they're loaded with compounds that love your arteries. And one of these, the one we're about to talk about, might just be the simplest of all. It's creamy, mild in taste, easy to digest, and when stirred into warm oatmeal, it transforms a plain bowl into a natural heart-supporting meal. You might be asking yourself right now, why didn't anyone tell me this before? The answer is simple. Most people don't realize how small, consistent changes shape long-term health. We live in a world obsessed with instant results, fast fixes, quick pills, bold claims. But your body doesn't need instant. It needs consistency. It needs something it can count on every day. And that's what this spoonful gives you. It doesn't flood your system with artificial compounds. It supports your body naturally, gently, and steadily. It's not about forcing change. It's about allowing it. Now, let's dig a little deeper into that last question. What if the secret has been sitting in your kitchen all along, hidden in plain sight? Picture this. You open your pantry and there it is. A simple jar or bag you've probably bought before, maybe for baking or as a snack. You used it once or twice, then forgot about it. You didn't realize that within that jar are natural oils that help your arteries stay supple, antioxidants that protect your cells from damage, and plant-based nutrients that support healthy blood flow. You don't need to travel to a health store or spend money on something exotic. It's already there, waiting. And here's the best part. Your body recognizes it instantly. Unlike processed foods or chemical supplements, this ingredient doesn't confuse your system. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. The moment it hits your digestive tract, it begins breaking down into compounds that your cells use to strengthen artery walls and reduce internal stress. And when you combine it with oatmeal, the synergy is incredible. The fiber in oats grabs cholesterol, while the healthy fats from this ingredient protect your arteries from stiffness. It's a perfect partnership, one that nature intended but modern diets forgot. Let me ask you something personal. Do you remember a time when food actually felt healing? When what you ate made you feel good from the inside out, not just full? For many people, that feeling fades with age, not because food changes, but because we start eating for convenience instead of nourishment. But it doesn't have to be that way. The kitchen can still be your medicine cabinet. That warm bowl of oatmeal can still be more than breakfast. It can be an act of self-care, a daily ritual that reminds your heart it's still loved. Now, imagine this. You take your first spoonful of oatmeal tomorrow morning, this time with the ingredient added in. You don't feel an instant rush. There's no dramatic change. But over time, maybe in a few weeks, you start noticing things. Climbing stairs feels easier. Your breathing feels smoother. That occasional tightness after meals starts showing up less often. You sleep better, wake up clearer, even your hands and feet feel warmer. That's your circulation improving. That's your arteries responding. And all from one tiny, consistent habit. Still, it's natural to doubt it. It's human to think, can it really be this simple? But here's something most people forget. The body doesn't need complicated solutions. It needs consistent signals. A spoonful every morning sends a clear message to your system, a reminder to keep blood flowing, to reduce inflammation, to stay balanced. It's like watering a plant. You don't flood it once and hope it thrives forever. You water it a little every day. That's how the human body works too. So the next time you see someone your age walking briskly, smiling easily, living without that constant fear of what's happening inside their chest, remember this, they're not lucky. They're just consistent. They've found something that works quietly in the background. And that same secret might be sitting in your own kitchen right now, waiting for you to rediscover it. In just a moment, I'll reveal exactly what this ingredient is and why adding it to your oatmeal is one of the simplest ways to help your arteries act younger, your blood flow smoother, and your mornings feel lighter. For now, let the curiosity do its work. Ask yourself, if one small spoon can make my heart stronger, my energy steadier, and my body calmer, what am I waiting for? Because sometimes the biggest changes in your health begin not with a doctor's visit, but with a simple question and the courage to stir the answer into your breakfast. It's creamy, nutty, and smooth, the kind of ingredient that melts perfectly into your morning oatmeal without changing its taste too much, yet somehow makes it feel richer, more comforting, almost indulgent. Most people wouldn't think twice about it. It looks ordinary, smells mild, and sits quietly in the back of the pantry. But inside this one spoon lies something extraordinary. Compounds that can help your arteries stay flexible, your blood flow smoother, and your mornings calmer. And no, it's not honey, not cinnamon, and definitely not flaxseed. In fact, you've probably walked past it in the grocery aisle 100 times without realizing that this could be one of the simplest ways to help your heart age gracefully. Before I tell you what it is, let's pause for a moment and think about how the body actually responds to food. You see, your arteries aren't lifeless pipes. They're living, breathing tissues that expand and contract thousands of times a day to keep blood moving through your body. When they get stiff, the heart has to work harder, pushing blood against resistance. That's when fatigue sets in. That's when your chest feels heavy. And that's when you start to notice the small signs: colder hands and feet, shortness of breath, or a light flutter when you climb the stairs. But what if something you add to your breakfast could support those arteries, helping them stay supple, calm, and open without any medication or complicated routine? Now, here's the part that surprises most people. It doesn't take much. Just one spoon of this creamy, nutty ingredient can make a difference. It contains a special blend of natural oils, omega fatty acids, plant sterols, and antioxidants that work together to protect your arteries from inflammation and oxidative stress. Think of it like giving your arteries a gentle massage from the inside, helping them relax after decades of strain. The result? Blood that flows more freely, oxygen that reaches every part of your body more easily, and a heart that doesn't have to fight so hard to keep you alive. But here's where most people go wrong, and this is the mistake that can quietly reduce its benefits dramatically. Many people heat it the wrong way, mix it at the wrong time, or combine it with ingredients that cancel out its natural power. This ingredient is delicate. It doesn't like high heat. Add it too early to your oatmeal while it's still steaming, and you destroy the very compounds that make it so helpful for your arteries. The secret is timing, and in a moment, I'll tell you exactly when and how to add it so that you get the full benefit, because the difference between a heart-supporting breakfast and an ordinary one can come down to just a few seconds. Now, let's talk about taste, because for many people, health foods sound great in theory but fail when it comes to flavor. The good news? This one doesn't. When added at the right time, it gives your oatmeal a creamy, nutty texture that feels luxurious. It makes every bite smoother, almost buttery, and the aroma, soft and earthy, turns your kitchen into something that feels like a warm morning hug. And if you're worried about taste, don't be. In fact, there's a simple 2-ingredient trick that not only enhances its flavor, but also multiplies its heart benefits. You'll want to stick around for that, because it might just turn your regular oatmeal into something you actually look forward to eating every single morning. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine sitting at your breakfast table tomorrow morning, steam rising from your bowl of oatmeal. You drizzle in a spoon of this smooth golden ingredient. It blends instantly, no lumps, no greasiness. You take your first bite, and the flavor is subtle but satisfying, nutty, rich, and calming. You feel that quiet comfort spread through your body, knowing that this small act is doing something important inside you. You're not just feeding yourself, you're nourishing your arteries, your heart, your brain. You're sending a message to your body that says, we're still in this together, let's keep going. Now, why does this ingredient work so well? Because it targets the root of what causes arterial stiffness in the first place: microscopic inflammation and plaque buildup. Every day, your arteries are exposed to tiny stresses from the foods you eat, from stress hormones, and even from normal aging. Over time, these stresses cause the lining of your arteries to get irritated, leading to small patches of plaque that narrow the flow of blood. But this spoonful, this creamy, nutty addition, contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds that help soothe those irritated walls, making them more flexible and less prone to trapping cholesterol. That's why it works best when paired with oatmeal. The soluble fiber in oats helps remove bad cholesterol, while this ingredient helps protect the arteries themselves. Together, they're like a cleanup crew for your circulatory system, one sweeping out debris, the other repairing the walls. And here's another reason why it's so powerful: it's completely natural. No artificial additives, no preservatives, no complicated processing. Just a simple, wholesome ingredient that the body instantly recognizes and knows how to use. That's what makes it so different from pills or supplements. Those often flood your system with isolated compounds that your body doesn't know what to do with. But food, real food, has a language your body understands. It delivers nutrients in the way nature designed them to be absorbed, balanced, and used. Still, you might be thinking, if it's that powerful, why haven't I heard about it? The answer is simple. It's not flashy. It doesn't have a marketing team behind it. It's been around for centuries, used quietly in Mediterranean and Asian diets long before heart health became a buzzword. But those who use it regularly tend to have better circulation, lower rates of artery-related issues, and more stable blood pressure. In other words, they age with a kind of grace most people dream of. And all because they understood that food isn't just fuel, it's therapy if you know what to eat and how to eat it. Now, here's where your curiosity should kick in. What could possibly be so simple, so common, and yet so transformative when paired with oatmeal? You've probably guessed it's something natural and plant-based, but I promise you, the real answer will surprise you. Because this isn't a superfood that costs $40 a jar or requires special ordering online. It's something you can pick up from your local store, even a small-town grocery shop. And the best part, it lasts long, costs little, and blends seamlessly into almost any breakfast. But before I reveal it, let me give you a taste secret that changes everything. Most people who try this ingredient for the first time find its flavor subtle but unfamiliar. That's why I always recommend pairing it with 2 simple toppings that transform its taste and add even more benefits for your arteries. The first is slightly sweet, packed with antioxidants. The second adds a mild crunch and extra omega power. Together, they make this oatmeal taste so good you'll crave it, I'll tell you what those are in just a moment. But for now, remember this: the difference between loving a habit and abandoning it often comes down to taste. If it feels good, if it tastes comforting, you'll keep doing it. And consistency is where real heart health begins. So, tomorrow morning, when you look at your oatmeal, I want you to see more than just a bowl of grains. See it as an opportunity, a blank canvas where a single spoon can make all the difference. The right ingredient, added the right way, can quietly support your arteries, improve your circulation, and give your mornings a whole new rhythm. You don't need to change your diet. You don't need to overhaul your life. And you don't need to spend money chasing miracles. You just need to master this small act. One spoon, one bowl, one choice that tells your heart, I'm taking care of you. Stay with me, because in just a few moments, I'll reveal exactly what this ingredient is, and I'll show you how to use it correctly so you never make the mistake that ruins its power. Plus, I'll give you that 2-ingredient flavor fix that makes it taste so good, it'll become the highlight of your mornings. Don't miss it, because this is where your heart's quiet transformation truly begins. Your heart beats around 100,000 times a day, pushing blood through thousands of miles of arteries and veins, keeping every cell in your body alive. Now imagine what happens when those arteries become narrow or stiff. The blood doesn't move as easily, the heart has to push harder, pressure builds, and slowly, without warning, fatigue becomes your new normal. That's why circulation matters, not just for heart health, but for how you feel every single day. And that's exactly where this one simple spoonful you've been hearing about comes into play. When you add it to your oatmeal, you're not adding calories, you're adding circulation support. The first thing this ingredient does is help your blood flow more freely. It contains compounds known as omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, along with antioxidants and plant sterols that work together like a team of cleaners inside your arteries. Over time, cholesterol particles and inflammation can make your artery walls rough and sticky. That's what causes plaque buildup. But this ingredient acts like a gentle polish, supporting your body's natural ability to keep those walls smooth so blood can move easily without friction or blockage. Think of it as reducing traffic inside your bloodstream, helping everything move faster, cleaner, and with less effort from your heart. Now, let's talk about something every senior knows too well: fatigue, that constant tiredness that doesn't go away even after a full night's sleep. You walk a few steps, climb a short flight of stairs, and your heart starts racing like you've been running a marathon. It's not always because you're out of shape. Sometimes it's because your blood isn't delivering enough oxygen efficiently. Your muscles, your brain, even your heart itself all need oxygen to function. When circulation is poor, oxygen takes longer to reach where it's needed, and you start feeling drained faster. But when you feed your body with the right nutrients, the kind found in this spoonful, you help your blood carry oxygen more effectively. That's the second major benefit: improved oxygen flow. The natural oils in this ingredient help your red blood cells stay flexible so they can travel through even the smallest capillaries without resistance. This means your tissues get more oxygen, your brain stays sharper, your muscles recover faster, and even your breathing feels easier. You might start noticing that you can walk longer, your hands and feet stay warmer, and that occasional breathlessness fades. It's not instant magic, but within a few weeks, many people report that they simply feel lighter. The effort that used to exhaust them, getting dressed, doing chores, even taking a morning walk, begins to feel easier again. And that's because when oxygen flows better, life itself flows better. There's something else remarkable about this small addition. It supports your body's natural rhythm. That's the third main benefit: balancing blood pressure naturally. High blood pressure is often the result of arteries that can't relax properly. Over time, their walls lose flexibility and become stiff, forcing the heart to pump harder just to move blood through. The healthy fats and plant compounds in this ingredient encourage your arteries to stay relaxed, helping blood pressure find its natural balance. It's not about forcing numbers down like medication. It's about helping your body remember what healthy pressure feels like. You might start noticing this in the calmness of your mornings. No more waking up with that pounding feeling in your temples or the sense that your heart is racing before you even stand up. Instead, you'll feel steadier, calmer, and more in control. Your mornings begin peacefully. Your breathing even, your head clear, your heart steady. That's your body responding to care, to balance, to the gentle nudge of the right nutrition at the right time. Now let's connect the dots. When you support cleaner circulation, improve oxygen flow, and balance blood pressure, everything else in your body benefits too. Your skin gets more color because blood is reaching it better. Your memory sharpens because your brain is receiving more oxygen. Even your digestion improves because your gut relies on proper blood flow. It's all connected. That's why something as small as 1 spoon added to your oatmeal can have ripple effects throughout your body. And yes, there's soft proof behind this. In small studies, people who added this ingredient to their breakfast saw smoother circulation and improved artery flexibility within just a few weeks. Researchers noticed reductions in triglycerides and LDL cholesterol levels and an increase in overall vascular elasticity, meaning their arteries behaved more like those of younger adults. But beyond the numbers, what's more important is how they felt. They reported more energy, better sleep, and less heaviness in their chest during physical activity. Real people, small change, noticeable difference. Here's what makes it believable. This isn't about chasing a miracle. It's about working with your body, not against it. Your heart isn't broken. It's just tired. It's been beating loyally for decades, and all it needs now is a little support, a little kindness, a little reminder that it's still capable of feeling strong. You don't need to make huge changes. You don't need to give up everything you enjoy. You just need to start your day with a choice that honors your heart's effort. The reason this works so effectively in oatmeal is because of synergy. Oatmeal provides soluble fiber, which binds to cholesterol and helps remove it from your bloodstream. The ingredient we're talking about adds the healthy fats that protect your arteries from hardening again. It's like cleaning your home and then locking the doors to keep dust out. The fiber cleans, the fats protect. Together, they form one of the most heart-supportive combinations you can eat at breakfast. You'll know it's working, not because you'll suddenly feel something dramatic, but because little things start changing. Your morning walks feel easier, your hands aren't as cold, you don't get dizzy when you stand up too quickly. You might even find that your sleep feels deeper and more refreshing. These are all signs of better circulation and oxygenation. Over time, your confidence in your health grows. You stop checking your pulse out of worry and start noticing how good it feels just to move again. Let's be clear, though, this isn't about replacing medical care or stopping any prescribed treatment. It's about complementing it, supporting your body naturally so that everything you're already doing works better. Think of it as teamwork, your medicine, your doctor, and your breakfast, all working in harmony to keep your arteries open and your heart strong. And if you're wondering how long it takes to feel results, remember this, your body has been healing quietly since the first day you started feeding it right. The difference now is consistency. Add this spoon every morning, give your body a few weeks, and let it show you what it can do. You may not see it happening, but deep inside, your arteries are thanking you, becoming a little smoother, a little more relaxed, a little more alive with every heartbeat. Sometimes health isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right thing consistently. So tomorrow, when you pour that bowl of oatmeal, remember what's really in front of you. It's not just breakfast. It's a daily act of support for your heart, your arteries, and your life. And with every spoon you stir in, you're not just feeding your body, you're restoring its rhythm, one beat at a time. Most people never try this ingredient for one surprisingly simple reason: the taste. It's not bad, it's not bitter, it's just different. A little too earthy for some, a bit too nutty for others. And that's such a shame, because behind that mild flavor lies something that could quietly change how your heart feels every morning. You see, the very thing people hesitate to add to their oatmeal is the same thing that could be working for them right now, protecting their arteries, calming their heart, and giving them energy that doesn't crash after an hour. But here's the beautiful part. That taste problem, it's the easiest part to fix. In fact, with one or two simple kitchen tweaks, you can turn that odd flavor into something creamy, comforting, and so delicious that you'll look forward to it every day. Think about this. We often avoid what's good for us, not because it doesn't work, but because it doesn't fit our habits. It's human nature. We stick to what's familiar, even if it's not helping us, and overlook the tiny changes that could completely reshape how we feel. This one breakfast habit is a perfect example. It's simple, affordable, and takes less than 30 seconds, yet almost nobody does it. And the irony, the people who do, those few who've discovered it, often say the same thing: I wish I'd known about this years ago. Now here's where it gets interesting. When you mix this ingredient into oatmeal the right way, not too early, not too hot, and with the right combination of flavors, it doesn't just blend in, it transforms the entire meal. It adds a silky texture, a mild richness, almost like butter without the heaviness. Imagine your oatmeal suddenly becoming smoother, creamier, and more filling, the kind of breakfast that feels like it's wrapping you in warmth while quietly working wonders on your arteries. That's what this habit offers: comfort you can taste and care you can feel. And as you start eating it daily, something begins to happen, slowly but noticeably. You start feeling a little steadier when you stand up in the morning. That tight pressure in your chest, the one that sometimes makes you pause before taking another step, begins to visit you less often. You notice your breathing is smoother, the tiredness that used to weigh down your mornings begins to lift. And here's what's fascinating. You're not doing anything dramatic. You're not taking new medication, not changing your entire diet, not giving up your favorite foods. You're just stirring one spoon into your oatmeal and letting nature handle the rest. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? That's exactly why most people don't take it seriously. We've been conditioned to believe that healing has to be hard, that it needs a prescription, a long list of do's and don'ts, or a complicated routine. But the body doesn't always need complexity. Sometimes it just needs consistency. The nutrients in this ingredient don't force your body to change. They invite it to return to balance. They whisper, not shout. Every spoonful sends the same quiet message to your arteries: relax, open up, keep the blood moving. And over time, your body listens. Now, let's tackle the taste once and for all, because flavor matters more than most people realize. If something doesn't taste good, you'll stop doing it, no matter how healthy it is. So here's the easy fix. Pair this ingredient with two simple additions that completely change its flavor while adding even more heart-friendly benefits. The first one adds natural sweetness and antioxidants. The second adds crunch, texture, and a subtle richness that enhances the creamy oatmeal base. When you combine them, you won't just be eating for your health, you'll actually enjoy it. And when something feels good and tastes good, that's when it becomes a habit, the kind that sticks for life. But beyond taste, there's something deeper happening here. Every time you stir that spoon into your oatmeal, you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your confidence. You're taking back control from that fear that creeps in late at night when your chest feels heavy, when you lie awake counting heartbeats, because now you're doing something that helps, something that works. That's a powerful feeling. And imagine if, week after week, that morning pressure began to ease. Imagine standing by the window one morning, sunlight hitting your face, and realizing that you haven't felt that old heaviness in days. That sense of relief, that quiet gratitude, that's what this small habit is really about. See, most people think heart health is about numbers, cholesterol levels, blood pressure readings, heart rates, and yes, those matter. But what truly defines how you feel is your daily rhythm, your energy when you wake up, your steadiness when you move, the peace you feel in your body when you take a deep breath. And that's what this breakfast habit helps restore: rhythm, calm, and confidence. There's something poetic about it, really. The same heart that carried you through every chapter of life, through love, loss, laughter, and worry, still beats with the same determination. It's asking for help now, not out of weakness, but because it's tired of fighting alone. And every spoonful you add to that oatmeal says, I hear you, I've got you. That's why this isn't just about arteries or cholesterol. It's about your relationship with your body. After 75, health isn't about chasing perfection. It's about nurturing peace inside the body you've lived in for decades. Here's another curiosity for you. Did you know that in cultures where this ingredient is eaten regularly, rates of heart disease are far lower? People live longer, move better, and experience fewer artery-related complications. And it's not because they're eating fancy diets or avoiding pleasure. It's because they've kept the wisdom of small, consistent habits alive. Their breakfasts aren't rushed or processed, they're intentional. And that one spoonful, that tiny ritual, is part of their secret. Let's be honest. When you first start, you might not notice much, maybe a little extra fullness after breakfast, a slightly richer taste. But as the days go by, subtle changes begin. Your energy doesn't dip mid-morning. You start waking up without that grogginess that used to linger. Your blood pressure readings start stabilizing. Your mind feels clearer. These are the quiet victories, the kind that sneak up on you, not through sudden miracles, but through steady progress. And here's what's most powerful about it. Once you experience those changes, you'll never see breakfast the same way again. You'll understand that even the smallest act, one spoon, one bowl, one choice, can make your heart stronger. You'll realize that your kitchen, not your medicine cabinet, can hold some of the most meaningful answers. Now, I want you to picture this. It's morning. You're standing at the counter, spoon in hand. The oatmeal's ready, the steam curling gently in the air. You take that smooth, golden spoonful and drizzle it in, stirring slowly, watching it disappear into the warmth. Maybe you add those two simple toppings, one for sweetness, one for crunch. You sit down, take a bite, and it's not just breakfast anymore. It's calm, it's care, it's your heart's quiet reward for showing up every morning, for never giving up. And when you finish that bowl, you'll notice something else. Not a change in taste or texture, but in how you feel about yourself. There's pride in that moment because you're not just hoping for better health, you're creating it. You're doing something kind for your body, something gentle, something that tells your heart it's not forgotten. That's what most people miss when they chase complicated routines or harsh restrictions. Health doesn't come from struggle, it comes from consistency and compassion. So yes, most people never try this because of the taste, but you're not most people. You understand now that small habits build lasting strength. And when you take that first step, when you stir that first spoon into your oatmeal, you're starting something that could quietly transform your mornings, your energy, and your heart. And imagine this, truly imagine it, waking up one morning a few weeks from now and realizing that the pressure in your chest, that quiet unease that used to greet you every day, is gone. You breathe in and your chest feels open, your heart feels steady, your morning feels lighter. And it all started here with one spoon, one choice, one act of care that tasted just right. That's the beauty of this habit. It's small enough to fit on a spoon, but powerful enough to touch every part of your life.